Good morning and welcome back to the Faith and Formation Podcast. It is Wednesday, January 28th. Thank you to you all for joining us and jumping on and being a part of the podcast this morning, supporting and listening. And I'll mention this again too. We do have that chat function, that comment section below if you want to share something with us, something that God talked to you about or showed you, or something you found interesting even. Any of those kind of things, leave that comment below. We'd love to see that feedback and to hear from you guys. All right, well, we're in 2 Corinthians chapter 4 this morning, and we've been marching right through. We did a lot of Old Testament books last semester, and so we're into the New Testament this semester. Already been through 1 Corinthians, and we're getting to 2nd now. And we're in chapter 4 this morning, devotional entitled Spiritual Eyes. Spiritual Eyes. Before we hit that, though, as is our custom, let's go ahead and look at the memory verse for the week. This is the last day for this one, so teenagers, make sure you commit this to memory. Come back tonight, and you can say that to us and get those points. It comes from John 8, verse 36. It says there, "If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed." John 8 and verse 36. All right, getting into our devotional here for this morning. Like I said, 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 18 is our text verse. It says there, "While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal." Spiritual eyes. If you look around you in the room right now, or in the car right now, or in the bathroom right now, wherever you are at this moment, look around you. You're going to see a lot of things. You're going to see walls or doors or windows or countertops or maybe picture frames or things on the wall or something like that. You can see a bunch of those things. And those are all physical items, right? I would be a little worried if you were looking around the room and seeing things that weren't physical things. That would be, I would be a little worried at that point for, for you. But you're going to look around, you're going to see those things. Well, this morning we're talking about having spiritual eyes and being able to see more than just those physical things around you. You know, the Bible tells us that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. As Christians, we enter the fight, the battle of a spiritual battle. We call it that, right? And it's not against other people. It's not against animals. It's not against anything physical, right? Our fight is on the spiritual level. It's on a different level. And we fight against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Spiritual wickedness in high places. These are not physical things. These are things that cannot be seen with our physical eyes. We need spiritual eyes to be able to see those. And here in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, it's talking about that, looking on things which are not seen. So the question really that naturally flows from that for us is, what do you see around you spiritually? Do you even have spiritual eyes? Are they active in your life? Now, this can get, if we're not careful, it can get sort of in the mysticism. People talk about having this third eye that can see into the spiritual realm, right? That is not at all what we're talking about. This is not something mystical. This is not something, that you're going to find at a palm reader shop or something. No. This is a very real thing the Bible is talking about. And it's an awareness, a seeing and an awareness of the spiritual side that is around us all of the time. We have a lot of emphasis on the physical world. That's just how we are. It's how we're wired. It's what we can sense directly with our five senses is the physical world. It's how we interact with it. And because of that, there is a huge emphasis all the time on just physical type things that we can feel and smell and hear and touch and see and all of those things. It's just natural for that to come to the forefront and be the most prominent thing around us. When in reality, we as Christians ought to be a little bit different. We ought to have a set of quote unquote spiritual eyes that can see past that and see the blessings of God on our life. That's not something that's necessarily tangible, but you can see God working. We can't see God, right? We can't see his hand necessarily sending a blessing down, sending a miracle down into our lives. We see the results of that usually physically, but we don't see any of that act, right? We don't see that, but we believe that it's there. With our spiritual eyes, we can see it. And how about people's souls, right? You can't see someone's soul. It's not tangible, but it exists. It nevertheless exists. And we as people, as Christians, I should say, should be able to see that more than anyone. That should be very, very easy for us to look with our spiritual eyes and see the souls of men all around us, saved or unsaved. We have to be able to see that and see God's hand working in our life every day. Every day. It takes a good set of spiritual eyes to be able to do that. And really, it takes a mature Christian to be able to do that. Most of us get caught up in our daily day-to-day life and in the physical world and forget to see or to look with our spiritual eyes. We got to remember, as the song states, this world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. We have to remember and understand that, hey, this is not our permanent home. This physical world is not where we're going to stay for eternity. If you're a Christian this morning, you're saved and you're on your way to heaven. You're on your way to a place that none of us have ever seen. None of us have ever heard, felt any of those things. In heaven, we've never smelled anything from heaven. There's another one of the senses. I don't know exactly what heaven's going to smell like, but I'm sure it's going to be great. And really, it takes those spiritual eyes, that faith, that understanding of God's word to know that that is where our home really is at. It takes maturity as a Christian to get to the point where I'm remembering and understanding all the time that we're not fighting a physical fight. We're not. We're fighting that unseen, unheard, unfelt battle on the spiritual level. It's internal, right? That's where we're fighting that battle. And so the question, I guess, naturally this morning for all of us is, how are your spiritual eyes? We're visiting the spiritual optometrist this morning. And we're going to take a little checkup, just see how's our spiritual vision. Are we able to see the souls of men around us and see them not as just people that are doing daily things, but as souls that Christ died for? Do we see people like that? It takes a good set of spiritual eyes to see that. Do we see God's blessing in our life every day? It takes a good set of spiritual eyes to see that. What a challenge. That challenges me as well. All of us can slip back into just seeing the physical. We need to pray this morning, God, help me to have a good set of spiritual eyes that can see around me into something a little bit deeper than just just the surface physical things that we can see with our actual eyes. All right, well, that is the devotional this morning. Hopefully it was a blessing to you. It was a blessing to me just talking and thinking about it, and love to be able to share that with you guys. All right, well, this morning as you head to prayer, we want to spend some extra time praying for the fellow teenagers, or if you're not a teenager, those that are around you, your friends. Spend some time praying for them this morning. Lift them up in their needs in prayer. And then for our teenagers specifically, we want to lift up Steve in prayer as well, and remember him this morning. All right, well, thank you again to all of you who are listening, who are supporting the podcast, who are a part. Appreciate all of the time that you set aside for this. I hope it was a blessing to you. And again, use the comment section below if you'd like to. Let us know you're listening and something that's spoken to you. That will be an encouragement to us as well. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.